Hello everybody, welcome back to Life Stories. My name is Trent, and today we got stories coming back at you from Reddit/idontworkherelady. Do they actually not work there? Is there a lady? Who knows? We'll find out. You know the drill, buckle in, because we're getting started now. Our first story of the day is titled, I served a guy in the bar that I don't work for. Got 2 free pints. So, I worked in the bar/restaurant business for nearly 20 years and enjoy a good story about customers and such. After reading many stories in here, I decided to post mine. About 12 years ago, I was working in a one-off Dublin's pub, which had a black uniform policy, like every other place. One day, when my shift was nearly over, my mate popped in and asked me if I wanted to have a pint. Usually, I don't like to drink in the place I work in, so we decided to do a bar/nightclub nearby. This was about 9 p.m. in the evening, and the nightclub hasn't kicked off yet, so there was no trouble getting in the bar, plus I knew the bouncer pretty well. We went in, sat at the bar counter, and had our first pint of Guinness, which is a blessing after a hard day at work. Just as quick as we had finished, we had ordered more. My mate spotted some of our friends at the table further away, and suggested we move to join them. That was a good idea, and we decided to get pints for them as well to give them a surprise and save time coming back. We got about 6 pints altogether, and were just about to carry them to the table when my mate got an urge to go to the toilet. I said it's fine, I'll bring him over. So I grabbed 3 pints and went to our friend's table. Brought the first 3 and went back to the bar counter to get the rest. Halfway to the bar, this middle-aged gent taps me on the hand and says, sorry pal, when you're ready. It's a phrase used in Dublin to get anyone's attention. I turned around and said, give me a second please, I need to bring pints to my mates. I grab the rest of them and go to the table, and again, this gent taps me on the back and goes, when you're ready pal. I thought he might know me or something, so I decided to come back and see what he wants. Came back and asked him if everything was okay, on which he replied, we'll have 3 Guinness, gin and tonic, and a Bacardi Diet Coke, and handed me a €50 note. That's when I understood what's going on. He thought I worked at this bar and gave me the order. I'm a kind person and love a good laugh, so I decided to play along. Took the money and went to the bar. Got the drinks and asked to give me a tray as well to serve them all at once. When I brought the drinks to his table and gave him change, he tried to give me a €5 tip, to which I said, it's alright dude, I don't need it. He replied, never seen a waiter that doesn't want a tip. And I said, oh, I don't work here, bro. Better give that tip to the actual staff. And walked away to my table. Told my friends what happened, and they had a massive laugh. Later on, got 2 pints of Guinness brought to me by the same gent I served, with apologies and all. We laughed, made some new friends, and had a great night. That's a pretty wholesome one to start off with. Kinda reminds me that I haven't been to a pub with friends in forever. I'd kinda like that once this quarantine clears up. Moving on to our next story, it's titled, Sitting at a computer store was actually good advertising. For a bit of context, since a few years, I've been learning about building PCs and built some. I also like to help newbies to gaming choosing components and building their first machines. Sometimes they pay me some or give me a bar of chocolate or something. I was still underage at the time, and this day I was a ceremony master in an academy at my school, so I was in a suit and tie. After it ended, I was waiting for my friend to end his classes, so I went to some computer store, which dress code was also suits, but without ties. So I was walking around, mostly thinking, I saw that CPU $10 cheaper on the internet, and came to pre-builds, which are really not the best there. Like putting a good CPU and motherboard that doesn't allow you to modify the computer in any way, so you would most likely spend much more money on upgrades, etc. After some time, a lady came in with a 14-year-old kid and began looking at these pre-builds. As soon as I saw it, I wanted to help them, because they could get much better PCs at the same price, but I'm kind of an introvert. Most likely, I'm unable to start a conversation with strangers, so I just moved to the next one. But after some while, they approached me. Excuse me, could you help us choosing a good computer for my son? Of course. What would it be used for? As I said, they have to break this strange barrier. I can speak normally now. It's strange. Well, learning, of course. I saw them looking at computers about $1,000 to $1.5 so certainly not the case. Mostly, the kid talked her into more expensive ones. Would you like to play games too? If yes, which ones? I asked the kid. Yes, I like X game and Y game. I saw that PC, he pointed at one, has good components for it. Not all. I suggest you ask someone who works here about more specific parameters. They showed, for example, only i7 CPU, not the exact model, typical in my country. So you don't work here, the lady says. Her cheeks turned kind of pink. Probably she just got a little embarrassed. No, I don't. However, if you'd like, I can build a computer at a much better price than those ones. Here's my number. In the end, I built him a much better computer than what the shop offered and earned $20, which I didn't ask for, so happy ending, even though the story might not be as interesting. As someone who is entirely challenged when it comes to the inner workings of computers, I am so glad that people like OP exist. I had a techie friend. I walked up, dropped $1,000 in his lap and said, "Hey, build me a good thing for games." A couple days later, had a new PC. Couldn't have done it myself. Good stuff, OP. Our next story is titled, Pick Your Battles. Several years ago, before we had the term Karen for certain customers, I decided to buy a grill. A little backstory. I worked in the oil field and had told my crew if we met certain goals, I would build a kitchen trailer. My guys came through in shining fashion, and it was now up to me to hold up my end of the bargain. Granted, I would be spending a lot of my own money, so that when I leave, I'll have a badass kitchen to take camping or for parties. But this has nothing to do with the incident. I ordered a very expensive custom grill through a retail outlet that shall not be named. This grill was amazing, and you would hope so for $12,000. I know that's crazy high, but this was fully custom made. I knew the exact second it arrived because the store manager called me asking when I would come pick it up. Stores don't like having too much inventory sitting around, especially something that expensive. I said I would be there that evening. I showed up, and while I was excited about the grill, I was in a bad mood. Work just sucked that day. I was waiting by customer service, and they said it might be a bit before they could get it out to me. No worries, I'll wait. While I'm standing there, I see Karen walk in. She looks at me and beelines in my direction. Then, in a huffy voice, "Young man, are you busy? I need help finding some things." I'm wearing a tan work shirt with my name and my company name. Very different from the store uniform. I obviously don't work here. I'm waiting for something, but I don't work here. Maybe ask them. I point to a nearby employee. Karen says, "Why can't you just do your job? Stop being lazy and help me." I'm not in the mood for this, but I'm trying to be nice. "Ma'am," I point to the company name on my shirt, "this is where I work." Then I wave to the surrounding store. "Not here. You need to go talk to someone else." Karen starts screeching, "Stop being lazy and do your job." That is it. I say, "Listen, you freaking moron, how can I say it any simpler? I don't work here. Now get the heck out of my face." I'm guessing Karen has never been yelled at like this before, because her mouth just hangs open as she walks away. I thought this was over, but boy was I wrong. Within a few minutes, I see her approaching again with what is clearly a manager, pointing to me and then saying, "That's him, that's the one." They get to me and she goes on, "This person refused to assist me and then was yelling and swearing when I tried to remind him what his job was. I demand that you fire him." The manager looked confused, then tries to placate her. "Okay, well, we can't have our employees treating customers this way, so you're going to have to need to turn in your uniforms and..." I cut in. "Wrong choice, buddy." The manager stopped talking. I might have gone along with it and laughed it off, but the smug, satisfied look on Karen's face was infuriating me. "You know I don't work here. I'm not playing along. You have two choices right now. Either you can find a way to get it through her stupid head that I don't work here, or I can leave and you can find someone else to buy the grill I'm waiting for right now, after you refund my deposit." Manager's face goes white. He was clearly doing some real hard thinking. "Ma'am, this man doesn't work here. If you would like, I will personally help you with whatever you need." The fury on her face was so satisfying to see. Knowing she wasn't going to get her way made my whole day better. Hey, good on you for putting your foot down. It's always one thing to deal with someone like a Karen, but when a manager will outright lie just to appease a customer, that's also arguably just as bad. Anyway, with that out of the way, I really hope that you and your boys in the oil field had some killer barbecue. And with that story out of the way, we are all out of time for today's episode, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you so much for tuning in once again. My name is Trent. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more Reddit content coming your way, and I hope to see you guys soon.